Martha had always been a hard-working woman. Life on the ranch wasn't easy, especially for someone who had lost her husband to a tragic accident 5 years ago. She had inherited the land, the cattle, and the responsibility, and she had carried it all on her own broad shoulders. Every day, from the first light of dawn until the sun dipped behind the hills, Martha was out in the fields, tending to her animals, repairing fences and hauling feed. Her hands were calloused, her back ached constantly, and yet she never complained. She believed that strength wasn't measured by words, but by action. It was during one of her morning rounds, while checking the herd, that she noticed something unusual on her knee. At first, it was just a small bump, barely noticeable under her denim jeans. Martha thought nothing of it. After all, life on a ranch meant bumps, bruises, and scrapes were part of the job. But over the next few weeks, the bump grew slowly, becoming firm and slightly painful. She tried to ignore it, convincing herself that she couldn't afford to be slowed down. There was always another fence to mend, another calf to feed, another chore to finish. One morning, while scrubbing the barn floor, Martha felt the lump again. This time it was tender and warm to the touch. Her heart skipped a beat. She knew something wasn't right. "I can't let this stop me," she muttered to herself, but the unease lingered. Over the next few days, the lump started to swell and itch, making her restless at night. She tried every home remedy she knew, compresses, herbal poultices, and ointments, but nothing worked. Then came the morning that changed everything. Martha was hauling hay up a steep slope when she stumbled. Her knee hit the ground hard, and a sharp pain shot up her leg. She yelped and fell onto the grass. That's when it happened. The lump burst. She froze, horrified, expecting something terrible, maybe an infection or a grotesque injury. But what came out was nothing like she had imagined. A small, strangely smooth object rolled out from the swelling, glinting in the early sunlight. Martha blinked, her heart racing. She picked it up cautiously and held it in her palm. It was a tiny, perfectly carved figurine of a horse, unlike anything she had ever seen. Its craftsmanship was exquisite, delicate yet detailed, as if someone had captured the spirit of life in its curves. Martha dropped to her knees, both in pain and disbelief. How had something like this come from her knee? Was it a dream? A hallucination brought on by exhaustion? She stared at the figurine, feeling a strange warmth emanating from it. A sudden thought struck her. Could this be a sign, a blessing sent her way? The ranch had been struggling financially, the cattle were thinning, and every day seemed like a fight for survival. Yet here was something extraordinary, something inexplicable, and it was hers. She ran her fingers over the tiny sculpture, marveling at its intricate details. The mane, the tail, even the delicate hooves were perfectly formed. She remembered the stories her grandmother had told her as a child, about hidden blessings that came disguised in the most unlikely ways. Maybe this was one of them. Martha felt a surge of hope, a spark she hadn't felt in years. She knew that life on the ranch would never be the same again. Word of Martha's discovery spread quickly through the small town. Neighbors, friends, and curious passers-by came to see the miraculous figurine. Some shook their heads in disbelief, others whispered about miracles, and a few even hinted at superstition. But Martha didn't care what anyone thought. She felt empowered, rejuvenated, as if a new chapter of her life had begun. She decided to place the figurine in her home, on a wooden shelf by the window, where sunlight could illuminate its fine details every morning. Days turned into weeks, and strange things began to happen on the ranch. The crops that had been struggling grew lush and green, yielding more than Martha had expected. The cattle seemed healthier, more vibrant, almost as if they had absorbed some invisible energy. Martha found herself waking up earlier, feeling more energetic, more alive. The exhaustion that had weighed on her for years began to lift, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose. She couldn't explain it logically, but she didn't need to. She had learned long ago that life was full of mysteries, and sometimes the universe had its own ways of providing. One evening, as Martha sat on her porch gazing at the sunset, she reflected on her journey. The struggles, the loneliness, and the relentless labor had all shaped her into the resilient woman she had become. And yet, the burst lump, the unexpected figurine, had reminded her that miracles often came when least expected. She realized that strength was not just about enduring hardship, but also about embracing the unknown with courage and faith. Martha's story inspired others in the town. People began to visit her ranch, seeking advice, encouragement, and sometimes simply a glimpse of the tiny horse that had brought so much change. She shared her experience openly, emphasizing the importance of hope, perseverance, and listening to the signs life presented. She reminded everyone that even in the most challenging times, unexpected blessings could appear, often disguised as something ordinary, something almost unnoticed. The figurine, now a symbol of hope, became a treasured part of Martha's life. She often held it in her hands when making important decisions, seeking guidance and strength. And with every passing day, she felt more connected to the land, to her animals, and to the community around her. Martha had learned that miracles weren't just events. They were experiences that reshaped the heart, the mind, and the soul. Before the chapter of her life closed each day, Martha would often speak directly to her visitors or her neighbors, her voice filled with warmth and encouragement. Life may be hard, and you may feel beaten down, but don't ever lose hope. Sometimes the smallest things can change everything. Keep going, stay strong, and always look for the blessings hiding in plain sight. Her words weren't just advice. They were a reflection of the life she had lived, the struggles she had overcome, and the extraordinary moment that had transformed her ordinary existence into something magical. And to everyone watching her story unfold, Martha always left one message. If my story inspired you, if you believe that miracles can happen in the most unexpected ways, make sure to subscribe to our channel. There's so much more to see, so many more stories of hope, resilience, and transformation waiting for you. Don't miss them. Join our community and let's celebrate the unexpected wonders of life together. Martha's journey reminded everyone that miracles often come quietly, in forms we cannot predict. The lump on her knee, once a source of pain and worry, had become the doorway to a new beginning. And through her courage, her determination, and her openness to the impossible, she had not only transformed her own life, but had inspired countless others to believe in the magic that exists all around us, waiting to be discovered. In the end, Martha understood that life's challenges were not punishments. They were opportunities. The hardships she faced had prepared her to receive the miraculous, to recognize it, and to use it to bring joy, hope, and transformation not just to herself, but to everyone she touched. And with that understanding, she continued to live her life with courage, gratitude, and an unwavering belief that the next miracle was always just around the corner. So, if you want to follow more amazing stories like Martha's, witness extraordinary events, and see how ordinary people experience the extraordinary, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join us, stay connected, and let's discover together the incredible stories that prove life is full of surprises. After all, you never know. Your miracle could be just a moment away.